Luckily, I didn't have to do too much of it, but we were very fortunate to have Calypso there teaching everybody, and we had a day of rehearsal before the video shoot. The dancers had a little bit more time, but they're so freaking talented. They're the ones that really made that video shine. I'm just happy that I got to be a part of it. Coincidentally, this was not scripted. That is just a nervous tick that me and Terrence both have when we're sitting anywhere, and James just managed to capture it. Thank you. I really liked that moment, and especially just with Terrence, because he's just one of those individuals with an air about him that doesn't make you feel at all awkward when doing something such as staring into each other's faces. The only part of it that felt awkward for me was, I think we should be applauding these talented dancers, and we're the only ones not doing it. We actually shot those two moments, and I was expecting to have to choose one of them, and then the counterpart would be whoever's eyes get closed, the other person's eyes we would see opened. I did not even realize that the people were passing in front of the camera in such a way that it allowed me to cut between the two of us. It was such a beautiful, magical coincidence that we were able to kind of flip between both of our scenes with those dancers transitionally. Yeah, it was just one of the coolest things to discover while editing the music video. Major thank you to Quill for putting on that makeup for both me and Terrence. I'm pretty sure the other dancers had Calypso or themselves. I have gotten quite a few messages like this, and that's incredibly, incredibly sweet. Yeah, support for these videos is, it just means the absolute world. And I'm just really glad that it resonated with you to this extent. This means everything to me. Somebody pointed this out today. Oh my gosh, what is going on with my hair right now? Somebody pointed it out today that the colors were very reminiscent of the men's gay flag. And that wasn't originally intentional. We adjusted the lightings to fit what the outfits were on the stage, and then we noticed that after we were filming and looking back at the footage. And I love that. What a cool coincidence that it happened. We were originally picking out the outfits and the makeup to match the cover art that we made for the song. But it all seemed to land in blues, teals, and greens, and yellows. And yeah, I loved how it turned out, so thank you. So the coffee scene was actually the original conceit for the whole music video. It was gonna just take place at the cafe, but we needed something more to do with the music video, and I could not wrap my head around it. And that is, after so many rounds of thinking about it, brainstorming it with Calypso, it wasn't until I was talking about my conundrum and wanting to involve dancers in some way with Leo. And Leo was just easy. You're going to a dance show with this person, and what they are presenting on stage is resonating with the two characters, and you can still incorporate the cafe scene in some way. And I was like, that's great. So then the cafe scene became flashbacks to earlier that day before the performance. But that seems so fun to just make with Terrence. Yes, thank you. Originally this moment was supposed to be, in my head, it was supposed to be the singer here and then hands in front, kind of doing things like bordering around the singers. And I think that would have been a mess, probably. I don't know how hard that would have been, but probably pretty hard. And Calypso helped simplify, but also emphasize what was trying to be said at this moment of the song by bringing the dancers behind the singer, allowing the singers to, take the foreground, and it was way easier to manage hands behind. And I think she and the dancers did a fantastic job managing that whole sequence. We were not sure how that was going to look, but it turned out fantastic. Terrence, you're a good dance partner. You were pretty fantastic at that moment, and it was everything that we wanted. It was, as I described it to Calypso, I was like, I kind of want one moment to be sort of like Bridgerton. I just wanted that. And so Calypso always kept that in mind. She was like, all right, I've worked in, this is the moment, this is your Bridgerton moment. So this is where that comes in. Yes, Hannah, Lily, you absolutely killed it this moment. This was an improv dance that they did to the music, and they did that, and I was like, we have to include this. I have to put this into the video. It was amazing. You two rock. Yeah, once again, big ups to James, who I don't even know how he was able to capture some of the things that he captured so smoothly with his equipment when there was a lot of movement on stage, a lot of improvisation happening at certain moments, and him still being able to capture them so well, doing all those long tracking shots. Like, we were just blessed with an abundance of incredible shots that everyone was geeking out at. So James, once again, you killed this video, and you're an absolute freaking rock star, dude. So the pinky touch is actually an idea suggested by one of the dancers. Lila, you're a freaking star. And when it was first suggested to me, I will tell you right now, I was like, no, I just did not see it. But we filmed it at the very end of the day after the dancers were gone home, and it was the very last shot. We were like, let's just do it for Lila. And I put it into the edit just to see what it was like, to give it the benefit of the doubt. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay. And I showed it to Calypso because I wanted to get her opinion on it, who also, she didn't think it was going to work. And she also was like, wow, I kind of love this. And she was the one who pointed out that seeing the pinky touch and then seeing me and Terrence dance, talking about the duet dance, was the metaphor of the pinky touch. The dance was the pinky touch, and it was the sign both of them were looking for. So it was perfect. It should have always been there. And thank you, Lila. Dude, that's one of my favorite parts too. When we did that full shot and James is following around us with the camera and then gets that dip so perfect. Again, James, you killed that. Oh, it felt magical. It felt magical. Yeah, that was one particular shot at that exact moment in the song that I've had in mind to be a part of the music video since almost the very, very beginning. So I really love how it turned out, and I'm glad that you pointed that part out. Yes, I am so glad that you noticed that. Yeah, obviously the two dancers in black were representatives for mine and Terrence's characters, and at that moment, there's the one dancer who's shadowing Terrence behind him, where he ends with confronting the dancer that he's enamored by, but Terrence has walked out of the light into the shadows to kind of just represent the space that he's currently in. And I just think the storytelling at that moment is like just some of the best that we had in that video. And I'm so happy with how that turned out. I'm really happy that you noticed that. Yeah, like I said before, the shoe tapping was a happy accident, but we were definitely trying to brainstorm ways that we visually present, or it could be visual presentations of nervousness around somebody. Things that probably are just everyday things that you might see, but maybe not interpret. So obviously the coffee grasping was an example of that. But I like James being clever enough to capture the shoes. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Yeah, I still felt like it would be good to have it open to interpretation. Whatever you all think might have happened after the music video was completely valid. Because, I think it depends on a person's situation. Sometimes it is better to maybe not bring up those feelings and maintain that friendship. And sometimes it works out to bring up those emotions with somebody and talk through them. Yeah, hopefully this song can kind of pertain to all of those situations within the spectrum. So originally, believe it or not, this song was supposed to be a lot funnier. It was supposed to be about two people that were just too stupid to pick up on any sort of cues another person was giving. Because that is me. It's very much me. I do not know when people are sending me cues. And so, you know, the shoe tapping both of them kind of like grasping at the coffee cups was an example of like, hey, you are showing nerves right now and you are completely missing that another person is showing nerves. Very much like in the lyrics, you know, my verse is that he says, how are you to my character. And then in Terrence's verse, he reveals that the only thing he can manage to say is, how are you? Even though he wants to say a lot more. There's a lot of parallels. I like it. But yeah, this song was supposed to be a lot more about how stupid we were to not pick up on that. Fair. I think that was especially at one moment, and I could be wrong, the dancers might correct me, but I think that was especially one moment where I think no one really knew what I was seeing in my head with that moment. We were filming it. They were just kind of doing what I was like saying. Yeah, you have your hands and you take it up, you reveal both me and Terrence. And I think they were just like, they just kind of did it. And then they finally saw the end product in the video and they're like, oh, that's what you were trying to go for. Sometimes it's hard to explain what's in my head, and then I edit it, and then you kind of see what I was going for. Well, that was very easy to do. Because it's Terrence. So I just feel like that's how it is in everyday life with conversations with him. He was indeed queening out, absolutely. Josiah, why are you asking a question? You're talking about yourself in the video. That makes my night. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.